Welcome to Swarfen Chips. This week, Mark and myself have travelled here to Pfronten in Germany. Unfortunately, we're not going up these mountains today. We are here to see DMG MORI's technology at their factory.
And if you're going to EMO, you must watch this video because it's going to show you something very different about DMG MORI. Cornelius, it's been a fantastic opportunity to visit Pfronten. Now, this is a fantastic factory that you've got here, but you're producing 650 monoblock machines at present, but with the huge investment that you've got here, that's going up to potentially 1,100. Can you tell me a little bit about that money spent and why you're spending it in Pfronten?
Well, the money or the amount of money we will spend, that is internal figures, so unfortunately I cannot tell you in detail, but of course we have made or decided for this big investment here in Pfronten because we are the biggest plant on the AG side of DMG MORI, and monoblock is one of our core products, and we see also for the future big potential. That probably will not be needed this year and next year because of the economic situation we are facing at the moment worldwide. But when it will pick up again, then we are ready for takeoff, and we will be able to deliver much more monoblocks than we do today.
So very much investing in the future here for future machines, but also what I'm quite interested in, you've got 14 sites around the world building machines, and I understand this is the second largest factory in the world. But why is that? Is it just because of the monoblock is so popular?
No, I think it's because of the knowledge we have concentrated here over decades already. So we will be able to celebrate our 100th anniversary in 2 years from now. So, and this knowledge we experience or we see here in Pfronten is concentrated on the 5-axis technology, 5-axis milling, and that is why we have also for the future potential for expansion, and we will also for the future continue growing and on this plant here and on this site.
Now, one of the reasons for the invitation here is that EMO is very close to us. Obviously, DMG MORI Hall dominates EMO, and it's very important to the German economy as well as worldwide. Now, could you tell me some of the themes that you'll be showing? Because I understand that you've got less machines, more technology, more digitization.
Yeah, so we will have 45 machines on display and 29 automation solutions. So we are focusing on automation, on digitization, of course, on additive manufacturing, and on technology excellence.
And this is where some of the magic happens. This is one of several factories here in Pfronten. Almost 30 models of machines here go through these assembly line, and they're outputting around about 12 machines per week just from this factory alone. Reinhard, how important is the spindle in the machine tool, and what are you doing here in this area?
So now the spindle is very important for every machine because it's the kernel component of the machine. You need it every day, every hour, every minute and every second. So you need a high availability for the spindle because we have here the spindle assembly. We want to have the know-how in the factory, and we build it every year, more than 5,000 spindle.
Okay, now what elements of the spindle do you make here in Pfronten? Is it every aspect of it, the cartridge, all the electronics, all of it?
No, we make it only the assembly. We produce not the parts, but the assembly for most of the spindle and all spindle for DMG Pfronten.
And where are you actually building the spindle? It's fully temperature controlled where you're assembling them, isn't it? Which is important to get, you know, the optimum in terms of precision in the build of the actual spindle itself.
Yes, it's very important because we need a stable temperature. We have here integrated 22 degrees.
And how long would it take to make a spindle, to assemble a spindle here? What's the duration of the production time?
Okay, we have a takt time here in the assembly. It needs 22 minutes per spindle.
Wow, 22 minutes to make a spindle?
Yes, 22 minutes.
Okay, how is that done so quickly? Have you got a lot of hands, a lot of people? Is it automated in any way?
Yes, we have a good information tool integrated. We need in every station what we must done. and so we have sustained tech time, and we needed only 22 minutes. Okay.
Reinhard, it's a fascinating journey through the factory here. We've looked at your spindles, tool magazines. Now the 65 monoblock is your biggest selling machine. We've spoken about that. Now you're selling and making over 650 machines here at present, going up to 1,000 later next year. But automation is key for you here. Tell me a little bit about the RPS system here and the other systems you have for automation.
Okay, we have here, you can see it here, automation system for a small machine. You have a small machine at 65 monoblock, and you can integrate a pallet handling system so that you have more working time and you have more production time.
Now, the RPS systems go up to a 12 pallet, as I understand. Is this quite key for your customers?
Yes, it's very good that you have long working time, you have one-piece flow on the machine, you have special parts on the day, and serious parts on the night.
And I'm interested to know, because there's many machine tool builders in the world which use and work with third-party integrators for automation, but why does DMG MORI actually make their own or your own systems for your customers?
From DMG MORI you get complete solution from one hand. You get the machine, the automation solution, the digitalization for the machine. You need it that you have all information integrated, and so we are the best partner worldwide.
With EMO coming up next week, automation is a big part of that. You've got over 40 machines, but over 20 of those will have automation systems. Why are you demonstrating this at EMO 2019?
On the EMO we have more than 60% with automation solution, because we want to look for different solutions for every machine, for every situation, what needs a customer, and you can see it different things, and you can see it some new things, because we have a new automation solution that you need not directly interface to the machine. You can drive in the hall and let you integrate on the EMO.
Reinhard, it's been a fascinating journey around the factory here at Pfronten. We wish you all the success with the new build. We're looking forward to coming back again. Reinhard, it's amazing to see your spindle production, but here we've got a tool magazine. Now I understand there's 303 tools, but tell me a little bit about the build hall here and why this is very important to your production of your machines.
So this is very important because you needed a big tool magazine for automation solutions in the final assembly machine. Because big magazines, you have a high availability in the machine for tooling, and when you want to integrate a one-piece flow for the parts in the machine, you need availability for tools, and then you have here the best solution.
And very briefly, just tell me what type of machines that you're building here and how many?
Oh, now we build it more than 1,100 machines, but in future, next year, we can build more than 500 machines more.
And as I understand that the DMU machines are your most popular, not just at Pfronten, but worldwide. They're a very good seller, aren't they?
Yes, we build it worldwide, more than 6,000 machines every year.
Now, look.
Interesting to hear how essential the spindle is in a machine tool build and how much focus and attention to detail they put on it here at DMG MORI. But it's not, of course, the only critical part of a machine. We have the tool carousels, which here I'm in the assembly area. Now in the UK we talk about having large tool carousels in order to have as many tools as possible to aid your production. Mark found out earlier with Reinhard, the managing director of the factory, that this isn't the biggest they do here.
Now we're starting our journey at DMG MORI Pfronten with technology. Now Paul, DMU machines, DMG MORI have been very, very successful over the years with them, but this 125 model has got something a bit different. So you've got milling, you've got turning, but a third application which is grinding. Why would you have grinding on this machine?
Well, they've been developing this for a number of years, but the last 2 or 3 years it's become really strong and actually popular in the marketplace in various industries, which we'll touch on. But why would you have 3 technologies? Well, I think the reason you'd have 3 technologies is the fact that you want to do your turning, you want to do your milling, and then why not do your grinding in one cell as well? Now some would argue, and maybe you would, that why don't I do grinding on another machine? But having everything in one place is always what machine tool manufacturers are trying to achieve.
But sometimes that's been an application-led thing with a customer. But I would argue that as much as this machine is very versatile, why wouldn't you buy a grinding machine? And things like sort of dressing the surface or dressing the wheel effectively.
Well, there are some of the things that I looked at earlier. One of the things was when you've got a traditional grinding machine, a conventional grinding machine, you can touch and feel when you're bringing the wheel into place, and you know whether you've maybe put in too much force and all those kind of factors. And also the wear on the wheels. You know, is it better to have that conventional element where you can touch and feel it? But actually, the DMG MORI software is developed in order to give you far less wear on your wheel. Obviously, you can do all the dressing functions here on this machine. You can have up to 400mm diameter on the actual wheel as well. You can cylindrical grind on the external surface in the vertical form what we've got here, but also horizontally you can position the head so that you can surface grind as well. So there was another point, and without meaning to try and cover loads off quickly, which I'm going to try and do, things like when I used to grind, used to generate grinding paste, which I think, well, hang on a minute, you've got a machine like this, is that not going to give me issues with the longevity, get into the areas of the machine I don't want it, like the spindle. But the spindles on these machines have an air purge where there's air actually coming out of the spindle, so no contaminants or particles can get in. So they've prepared the machine in order to not only do the grinding operation, but be great in the grinding environment.
Well, I see what you're saying here. I mean, the type of customers I would imagine that are buying these machines, let's say, is very much down to sort of retrofitting companies where they're actually sort of, still using the part, but it needs to be re-engineered, let's say.
Well, there is. I challenged one of the guys earlier about who was buying them, and they are selling these into a lot of machine builders, like machine tool builders, where they might want to, machine a bed of a machine tool and then grind it as well, surface grind it. Also, the repair, what they class as the machine repair and overhaul business. They're popular. Bearings as well, even the aerospace engine combustion engines where they're doing the machining as well as the grinding. So there's lots of enhancements and developments on this machine that enable it to do not just the two technologies of the turning and the milling, which we've been used to, but that grinding as well. So I suppose reducing the risk when you're moving parts from machine to machine.
And you're talking the size of the bed 125 here, but do they do bigger models for this?
Well, they do, and that will probably be my final point, talking to the guys, the duo block, the mono block, also the portal machines you can introduce the 3 technologies to, or the additional technology to, as well as some of their turning lines. So it isn't just this machine here, and it isn't just this type of application. If you're looking for accuracy, precision grinding, great surface finishes, you can turn, mill and grind all at once.
Well, we've had a fascinating tour of the factory now, Paul. One thing that really intrigues me, I know we've been banging on about it a bit, but the monoblock, they've sold over 5,000 models across the world now. Why do you think, in your experience, this machine is so popular?
I think the first thing I'd say is that having walked around the factory today, we've seen the construction and how the machines are built. But what I wouldn't forget is the fact that DMG MORI have been doing this for many, many years. For the 5-axis champion statement, for example, that comes from years of building quality product and having success with them in the field. So that would be a big factor. But I think some of the other points, if we open the door, your arm's stronger than mine. I think the accessibility is a big factor. Often people look at technical specifications of machines, but they might not think about actually how easy is it going to be for me to get in the machine, to load the machine, or even using a crane, crane components in, because you can get 1,000 kilograms on that table.
Not on this one. I think on this is just 600 kilos on this, because this is fairly standard. 20,000 RPM.
Well, yeah, that spindle is, so you're right. You can get up to a ton, but I think this one is slightly less, depending on the model that you select. But also, you've got a 20,000 RPM Speedmaster spindle, but you can have the option to have a 30,000 RPM spindle as well. And again, something we've seen today, and you've seen on the show, all their spindles are built or assembled here, and as we know, in just 22 minutes, which is an incredible time. But other than the accessibility, other than the quality of the spindle, which you get a 36-month warranty with, I hasten to add, you've got things like the tool changer here, the tool carousel. Now this is actually integrated into the machine, and you can go up to 180 tools with a tool carousel integrated onto the machine, but you can have even more if you...
This is standard at 30 though, isn't it?
This is standard at 30, but you can have up to 180 tools. Now the build of the machines, as we have seen in the factory, and of course we can't show everything throughout the show on Swarf and Chips, but the monoblock construction, a very solid foundation for a machine, a very heavy duty solution, which is great for vibration dampening on a machine. That gives the machine the agility, but the ability to maintain tolerances and accuracy.
And I must say the CLOS control panel, I mean, it's easy to operate as I understand, but also the process and integration that it actually offers is superb.
Yeah, it is. App-based, very easy to use. But one of the other questions I asked one of the gentlemen yesterday was about the growth of these machines. When you see them move, how fast they are, how quick they are, how nimble they are, do they not have issues with controlling the growth? But of course, these machines come with digital scales. In fact, their own Magnus scales, which they have here, which is, you know, again, another DMG MORI product that is on a DMG MORI machine. So it's very much about them creating their own solution and having years of experience doing it.
As we see in the UK, you know, automation is very key, but also worldwide. And when you look at the pH systems that they have, the automation side, the RPS, these machines will not be leaving this factory standard anymore, will they?
No. And this is the 65. The 75 is quickly becoming their bestseller and catching up with the 65. It's the same machine, the 75, but it's just got certain options that come as standard for like a production package. But all of this fits into a pretty small footprint as well. 1300 mil of access here, 36-month warranty on that spindle. You know, what more do you want?
One thing I would say to you is when you was working for DMG MORI, you would have loved to sell this, wouldn't you?
I would. I'd have sold loads, absolutely.
I don't know about that.
So Mark's gone to get today's cycle time challenge, which you've got to stick around for, coming very, very shortly. Before that, I'm just going to mention to you this DMC 65FD. This is a 5-axis machining center, a monoblock machine with turning function on this, 1200 RPM turning function. If you're looking for the two technologies, milling and turning, fully integrated, then this is a terrific solution on show here. But one of the points I wanted to highlight is actually the RPS system. We have heard about this in the show today, but this is actually the RPS 3, which is fitted to this mill turn machine, this monoblock machine. But you can also have the RPS 6, which means you can double up on the pallets compared to what you have here. Fully integrated, keeping not only the spindle turning, because of course you will be if you're milling, but the table turning as well. If you want to get the most out of the productivity on your machine, then this is ideal. The thing I like about it, accessibility, straight here. Loading of the pallets is simple. You can obviously pull the control over to the pallet here, get into the machine, load the pallet, but of course with the control being on a pendant as well, you can then open the door to the machine and you can easily get to the control as well as the component on the table. And then thirdly and finally, if you're looking to set your tools, as with the monoblock design and the way the monoblock machines are, I can have my pendant here and I can set my tools. The ergonomics of this machine are simply fantastic. And now for that cycle time challenge. Over to you, Mark.
Cheers, Paul. Today's cycle time challenge is this fantastic machine car. Normal aluminium, I understand, on this fantastic DMU 65 monoblock. Now, we've spoken a little bit about this machine today, but it's 20,000 RPM, continuous 5 axis. How long did this car take to machine? Now, you're very, very strong, or have been, in big sectors like the aerospace sector, the automotive sector. A lot of the technologies that you actually have on board is not just for those sectors, are they?
Yeah, no, we have a very wide range of customer base and very many branches we are serving. So it's around 40 different branches we can count to our customers. But for dedicated branches like aerospace, automotive, medical, and mold and die, we installed excellence technology excellence centers, and 2 of those are located here in DMG MORI Pfronten. It's the Aerospace Excellence Center and the Die and Mold Excellence Center.
Now, one question I've been looking to ask DMG MORI for many years. Now, you are one of the largest machine tool builders in the world, very technical, and you have lots and lots of customers. But for you, could you tell me what makes DMG MORI machines one of the best in the market? Because there's many, many machines available from other manufacturers.
I think the people working for DMG MORI and the know-how we are providing to our customers. And of course, we are a worldwide company with 157 sales and service companies located all over the world. So we are very close to our customers and provide the solutions they need.
And my final question, I know tomorrow we're spending a lot more time talking about the production and where you make the machines and the parts that you make, for instance, that makes the machines very special. But for any engineers worldwide that are watching this video before EMO, what message would you give them to visit your hall at EMO?
Yeah, it will be an amazing show. And when you miss DMG MORI, then you miss the EMO 2019. That is definitely true. So you are all welcome to visit our booth, and it will be in the north entrance of the exhibition area, Hall 2. And we will be there on 10,000 square meters, showing plenty of innovations and interesting solutions. So please come and visit us, and we will prove that we are the right partner for you and for our customers.
Wow, what a show. A feast of technology and innovation. That's what we've been dieting on over the last couple of days, haven't we?
Well, say dieting.
What's been your highlight?
The invitation, really. It's not many opportunities that you come to one of the biggest or largest producer of machine tools, but the investment in the region at Pfronten. They're going to be making 2,000 machines here come the end of next year, or up to. But also making a spindle within 22 minutes.
Yeah, it's very, very quick. And the fact that they're making all of the integral parts to their machines here, the scales, like you say, the spindle, we've seen parts being machined, we've seen the assembly halls. It really has been an eye-opener. And this is a place to visit, easy to get to from Munich Airport as well. So, but if you can't make it here, you know where you're going to be next week.
Well, yeah, you've got to visit Hall 2 at EMO, Hanover. It's going to be fantastic. But they're talking digitization, they're talking additive manufacturing and automation. Over 40 machines, but over 20 machines with automation programs and solutions on.
But we can't finish this show without saying, what do we do?
Keep those spindles turning.